the debate. There was the first in the national debates last night. Who won? I'll tell you soon. I think in a polarized society, the journalist covering the debate lost. Both Cliff Hughes and his team and Emily Crooks, they lost the debate. Emily Crooks lost the debate. Cliff Hughes and his team over there at Nationwide, they lost the debate. Journalists, you see, ought to provide analysis, insights, but declaring a winner is subjective and it is potentially polarizing. Instead, Emily Crooks and Hughes ought to do fact checking, policy analysis, and some other things that we can discuss. I'd love to discuss this with you, Navy, when I'm through. What Emily Crooks did last evening has not helped. Hasn't helped at what Emily did has given the People's National Party a fillip, something to boast about. You see, fact checking, verifying claims, and providing context is what journalists need to do to help viewers make informed decisions. But to declare that the PNP won is a disservice to the politics. Quite frankly, someone as experienced as Emily Crooks should have known better, because now she is being criticized unfairly so by some even pointing out the color of her dress. She erred. Emily Crooks erred when she declared the PNP the winner of the debate. Because whilst the analysts on the panel can give their opinion, the host should remain neutral. To host a program and then you declare your bias is either inexperience or a lack of knowledge. Were the debaters fact checked before Emily declared the PNP the winner? No. What the journalists ought to do is to examine the policies, the proposals, and highlight to the listeners the key differences. They must verify the claims and they must provide context to help the viewers make informed decisions. They can assess the communication styles, the vision, the ability of the debaters to articulate their party's positions. But by taking a more nuanced approach, journalists ought to empower viewers to form their own opinions. I want to repeat that. That the journalists ought to take a nuanced approach, neutral. Because by doing so, you empower the viewers to make up their own minds. To declare the debate to be won by the PNP is to empower people to support the PNP. In the same breath, those who declare from a journalistic perspective that the debate was won by the Jamaica Labour Party, they are doing the same thing. So listeners are depending on journalists' external declarations of winners or losers to make up their minds who won. The winner of the debate is not what Emily Cooks says. Emily Cooks has her opinion. She should keep it to herself. Cliff Hughes, he has his opinion. He should keep it to himself. Both are trying to influence the election. And it is wrong. Both Emily and Cliff, by declaring winners and losers, are influencing the election. And that is inappropriate. It is wrong. For what they have done is to create more divisions, because the supporters of both major political parties are now relying on them rather than their own opinions. Journalists should prioritize objective analysis and fact-based reporting. They are to avoid declarations of winners or losers, because that can be perceived as bias or partisan. They should rather focus on fact-checking, policy analysis, and issue-based reporting. Leave the opinion of who win or lose to the viewers. Or open your lines and ask your viewers who won or who lost. By providing insights into the debate, you help your listeners to see from a professional standpoint, you being the journalist, what the listeners may not see. You can't go declare winners and losers at the end of the debate, man. You can't do that, Emily Cooks. You've lost your credibility. I mean, because it's polarizing. Because there's not one labor right that agrees with you, and there's not one comrade that agrees with Cliff. Why not remain neutral? Because when you take the neutral approach, it helps to maintain the integrity and the credibility of journalism, especially in divisive political environments, as was the case last evening. And so by staying neutral and focusing on the facts, the journalists facilitate a more informed and nuanced public discourse. So who won the debate? Leave that question to the public. Or let the surrogates spin it. Interview surrogates from both parties and they'll spin it. Moments after the debate, both the PNP and the Jamaica Labour Party had declared their teams the winners. That's what political parties do, not journalists. Journalists don't get involved in declaring debates winners or losers. It's too partisan. And so to help Jamaicans determine debate outcomes beyond just declaring a winner, we must consider the following approaches. One, we went through them already. Focus on key issues. Assess policy substance and evaluate the vision of both of the parties. Let's come right back in just a few short seconds. All right, I'll talk to Navi about this when I get back. Just coming right back to you. Political debates can significantly impact elections. Significantly. And so my argument is that the journalists should avoid declaring the outcomes of these debates. Navi is a student heading off to Harvard. She's a very good debater. She knows about debates, and I thought we'll talk to her a little bit about the debate last night without declaring. So I have been bombarded with, calls to declare the debate, and I will not. I will not. I will avoid that, because no one should say neighbor said this person won or that person won. We want to avoid that error. I thought Emily Crooks made an error when she declared the debate to be won by the People's National Party. Profound error made by an experienced journalist. She should not have done that. That is showing bias. Though it may not be intended, the perception is that of bias, and you want to avoid that. Good afternoon, Navi.
Very good afternoon, neighbor.
Yeah,
As I said it I said it last night, neighbor, and I will say it again, neighbor. What I've been saying, everybody's been attacking Emily, and on the last this morning I was saying everything is very subjective, right, neighbor? Yes. But what Emily did was basically saying the People's National Party won without fact checking anything. So the people last night hearing everything they said, we say, okay, it's the truth. And I thought the debates would have set a precedent to take away propaganda and misinformation, and her declaring a winner in
Let's be
that
clear.
sense.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear here. You are entitled to your opinion, but you
Yes.
must be responsible in the position you hold. Thousands of people are wanting to make up their minds. To do that is to influence the election. It may not be your intention, but you can influence the election by declaring Team A or Team B winner. Because what winner suggests is that the other team is losing or has lost, that the one team is more competent than the other. You get what I'm trying to say to you? And in a polarized space, you want to avoid that. Leave the outcome to the listeners. Let them determine who win and who lose. Then watch too. So they don't have head. Them can't make up their minds who won and who lost. In a democracy. And it's the same thing I say about polls. That is why I don't like polls, especially so close to an election, because polls can influence the outcome of an election. You send a man out into the field, him talk to a few people, and him come back with a poll showing one party 5-6 points ahead. What does that do to the supporters of the other side? It deflates them. It can cause them to be discouraged, and it can provide a false momentum to another side. Polls can be used to influence the outcome of elections. When moderators or journalists start to declare winners, losers in a debate, that is not their role. They are opinion journalists. Yes? You do a scorecard, did you fact check? What the journalist is to do is to provide context, get the listeners to see what happened in the debate, and then leave the listeners to decide. They're quite out of place to be declaring winners and losers in this debate. They are wrong. And also, look what this has caused in this polarized space. We're 11 days out of the election. Did the PNP really win the debate? Half of Jamaica is going to say no, and half will say yes. Why is Emily exposing herself to this type of criticism? She could have avoided it just by being neutral. And I'm saying that her guests, they can say what they want to say, but you as the host must remain neutral, right? Because going forward, people are going to label you as a comrade. Navi, are you there?
Yes, I am, neighbor. As I was saying, I know I was not beating down on her. I've been defending Emily since last night in the neighbor. I said Emily was being subjective, and that's her opinion. But what I did not like is the fact that after she declared a winner, she then proceeded to say, "I'm going to fact check after." You can't do that. You declaring a winner is basically saying that everything the PMP said was true, when there are people screaming, "What? This is not true. That is not true." So you can't fact check after you made a declaration. That was wrong, neighbor. And I said last night, the overall debate, I was disappointed in the debating competition. You had no fact checker. You had no persons for persons with hearing disability. You had none of that present. And then for the JLP, I said it. I give them a 7.5 because I thought that it was a lot of missed opportunities. Especially, I am very disappointed in Colonel Charles Jr. with the BPO sector question, because that's his ministry. I expected him to mop the floor, neighbor, with that question, but he didn't, and I'm entitled to my own opinion. People are going to say, Navy, you're being too harsh, but that's just the truth. Same like how I'm disappointed in Raymond Price, because the tone, if you're a good debater, neighbor, you see, you are going to gauge your audience. You're going to know the type of reception you are going to get. His tone was not relevant to the debate. he was acting like it was a grand market or something. I understand that's how you're very flary and that's your style of debating, but as a good debater, neighbor, you should know how to set the precedent and see what is going on to gauge your audience. A lot of people were turned off after he started to act like that. This is what I'm saying, and people have been saying I've been very critical from morning, but I would say this is my area of expertise, debating, and
Yes.
what was on show last night was not entertaining to me, and as you said, neighbor, it was a big disservice for Emily to announce a winner when there was so much to unpack. I expected Emily to start a panel and start to dissect and start to say what was not true or what she did. None of that, but you're here declaring winners.
Correct. Correct. So let me just for those of you who are joining us.
Neighbor, 1 second, neighbor, before you speak. Tell one JA to get into the box because I can't. You see, we're 10 days until the election. I'm not with the back and forth, the grand market style. I want him to get in the box and debate me on this topic since he wants to. He's going to stay in the comments and say a bunch of nonsense. I'm not in that. I'm not in the ghetto behavior today. If you
Well,
have a
then
fact, get in the box.
you may not need to read it. Though there are people joining us all the time, and I'm here trying to see if I can provide some context. And my point is that Crooks Emily erred when she declared the PNP the winner of the debate. That is an error. It should not have been done. It should not have been done. In the same breath, on nationwide, when the JLP was declared the winner, that too should not have been done. Although, to be fair to them, they provided more context and went through point by point, debater by debater. Declaring a winner is subjective, and it has the potential to be polarizing. The journalists as hosts should not focus on telling people who win. That decision must be left to the viewers, especially in Jamaica, where we do not encourage critical thinking. Other people make decisions for we. We are lazy, mentally lazy. We don't want to think things through for ourselves. Emily said, so I saw it go. Cliff, you said, so I saw it go. So we are placing a responsibility upon these people that they don't, quite frankly, deserve to have. They don't deserve it. We don't want Emily Crooks telling us who win debate. We don't want Emily Crooks to do that. Emily Crooks not going to go up there to tell us who win on debate. That is not her responsibility. We can determine that, We don't idiot. We are fool. Yes. What you want to do is to empower people. You want to empower people so that they can form their own opinions and also make informed decisions rather than relying on external declarations. Because once you declare it, argument done, Nobody's going to look beyond what them say, because them thinks that these people are so, they are what them say, a law. No law. You have your opinion, keep it to yourself, man. In the public space, it is important that we remain unbiased. Yes. What do you think, Navy?
Wait, neighbor, repeat. I wasn't hearing you.
I'm saying to you that the public must be left to make up their own minds based on what they see, based on what they hear.
Yes, neighbor, that's what I've been saying. That it should have been an open discussion to let the people debate on who won. Because she did not fact check, and that's my biggest problem. So you saying they won, right, neighbor? Nobody's going to fact check after the fact because you already declared a winner. So you are agreeing to everything that they said. That's what you are. When you declare a winner, you're basically agreeing to everything that they said, and everything that they said was the truth, which is not. And that's why a lot of people were bashing Emily and have been saying, guys, please give Emily some grace. Neighbor. But she put herself in that position because
Yeah,
everything because
yeah.
you're basically agreeing to everything the People's National Party said.
Yes. No, no, Jamaica is almost equally divided politically, there's almost an equal divide. You see the polarizing politics that we practice. And this is why, I think Jamaica is in need of proper journalists. I must tell you the truth. There are opinion makers, but we need proper journalists. Journalists must prioritize objective analysis and fact-based reporting. They must avoid these declarations. I know it can be pressuring in an environment like that to respond, but that response is not grounded in any in any fact. It's a style, yeah. Because if you watch this debate a couple of times, you'd realize that a lot of what came out there last night from the People's National Party is nonsense. Nonsense. So, if you focus on the facts and you are issue-based, you're an issue-based reporter, then you will provide insights, and eventually you want to leave the listeners to make their own decisions, because this approach helps to maintain integrity and credibility, especially in the environment that we are now operating, which is divisive. It's a very divisive political environment. And anything that gives one side the edge is going to be seized upon, as the PNP have seized upon this and are sharing it all over the country. Emily Cook said them win the debate. You don't win a debate because Emily Cook says so. That is taken away from the substance, from the real issues. We are now into the mundane stuff. We have closed out critical analysis and thinking, and we are now on one person's view. Who is Miss Emily Shields? A very respected journalist. But she don't think for us. You have to stay neutral. That's what I think. And focus on the facts. All right? So, I think that there was an error last night. And I hope that in the debate coming up on Tuesday, that they will avoid this declaration of winner or loser and let the people decide. Let's hear your views. And as we go forward, it's 25 minutes to 5 o'clock. And the Labour Party are in the West. The People's National Party are in the center of the island. Navi is with us. She's a first-class debater. Let us see what Jamaica Girl has to say. Good afternoon, my friend from Portmore.
Hi, good afternoon. Afternoon, Navi.
If you
I
bring
did not hear Emily, so I was asking on what basis did she declare PNP the winner? Was there some kind of rubric or scorecard to determine that?
that Navy,
No, it wasn't. She just said, "Oh, Machi Samuda was the only one debating for the JLP, and his teammates didn't show up, so PNP is the winner." That's basically what she said.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that's really what I wanted to know. I mean, I had listened to the Cliff Hughes panel. Um, I think they gave some very good analysis. I didn't agree that he should have declared any winner either. It would have been better if they opened the floor to callers for, for the callers to declare or whatever. I think in any debate, it's always gonna be one side is always gonna say they win the other side, so that's fine. But the people can listen and pick out what they will. Now, if you don't understand debates, you might think that they I won't even call it bantering because I don't know what that was, but the tracing from Raymond might have piqued your interest. While if you're more keen, then you'll be looking for substance, which I think of anybody, Matthew really brought the substance out. I think overall the debate last night was a colossal failure. From the debates commission to the questions that were asked. I mean, the debates commission could not even provide a proper chair for Natalie to sit on and had the lady on national TV with more than half of her body hanging over the chair. Very, very distasteful debates commission. We had no interpreter for the deaf community, so I suppose that only
here,
who can
Jamaica girl, the questions
hear,
were,
right?
Jamaica
So
girl,
I suppose, yes.
the questions were being repeated because I don't know who.
Yes. Yes, and
Neighbor,
if
I hate
consider we have a debate on social issues and the matter of crime was not brought up any at all. I think the questions asked by both the JLP and the PNP were absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the question of the declaration that has been in the environment for however long, we are weeks, days away almost from the election. It's a void point at this matter of time. And also you would have never expected that the JLP was gonna say, yes, you're right, he shouldn't be on the ballot. So I don't even get the point of that question. Matthew asked about tax, which it wasn't altogether a bad question, but I think a better question could have been asked. Ask them, what do you plan to do to reduce crime? There is no way the debate should have ended without the matter of crime being brought up on a social issues debate. We saw Raymond responding to. Go ahead, neighbor.
what is fascinating is that Jamaicans are listening.
Yes.
Jamaicans are taking interest, and I see where Carl is saying that debates have no impact on election. No, Carl, you are wrong. You can
It is dependent on who you are.
Yeah, you can win an election or you can lose an election at a debate. Well, I know that happens in the United States. Joe Biden had to step out of the race for president because of his performance in that debate. You know that. If you debate in Jamaica, if Wholeness turns up next week and has a bad debate, Labour rights will not be happy going into Wednesday. I can tell you that. In like manner, if Mark Holding turns up,
I'm saying it does set a tone. Does set a tone for.
Yeah. So political debates can significantly impact election. Do you agree, Nabi? Navi? No. Navi? Okay. I think she's gone.
I'll say as well, the question on health that Raymond supposedly responded to, absolutely atrocious. Because we got nothing from it. All he spoke about was the fact that Tufton was not there. And I think that if you're vying for government That is such a critical question for you to respond to, that you should not have let that one be the one that you tried to banter on. Matter of health. Because you guys, they are going around every day to tell us that the healthcare is in such horrible state. And when you're brought to the nation and asked about health, your response is that Dr. Tufton is not there. Mind you, your spokesperson on health is also not there.
Yes. Cut budget, are you there, sir?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Yes, sir. Last night debate, trust me, when I look on the time or then set the time, that's a no-no. That's a throw off everything too.
Which time, sir?
One side.
Hold on. Which time?
The time when the PMP them spoken, and by the time the Labour Right was spoken, then cut them off so much. At some one time I wonder.
No, sir. No.
Yeah,
No,
the time never set good neighbor. Neighbor the time never. They I don't think they have no time setting or nothing. They never done rock up for no time. Trust me, I watching it on your live all night last night. I'll tell you in cliff flows and everything.
Go ahead.
You understand me? Yes, sir.
I can talk now, sir.
I'm listening to you, neighbor.
There is a time clock. There is a time clock in front of you, sir. You get 90 seconds.
Yes, sir, but they never, I don't think they was watching the time clock. When they was asking Raymond Price and them, him that he may all want cut off because he don't know what he was saying. All of them, the garbage must spilt and everything, he may want to stop and they don't want to stop him.
Please listen, sir.
Understand me?
Please listen, sir.
If Raymond Price could have talked,
please listen.
Neighbor.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Just please listen, man. There is a time clock that the people have in front of them, you see? If you are doing a debate, sir, you have 90 seconds to answer. You have 45 seconds to rebut. If you don't get your time, you ask for it.
Yeah.
You can't blame the others first. You have to blame the debaters. If you don't get your time, you ask for it. But what?
But I don't think they because they was chatting and talking all of them garbage and they spilled it out all the garbage and stuff. You understand me? The JLP never get the time where it's spent. And by the time the JLP because
you said they never get enough time. They agree to the time, you know, sir. Both sides agree to the time, you know.
Agree, say they agree upon it, sir. But when
I don't need 90
something.
I don't need 90 seconds to explain something, you know. And I don't need 45 seconds to rebut something. Is you have to manage the time you get. That is why you prepare for it.
Yes, I understand that you have to manage.
And I don't
what I'm saying to you that
got more time than the Jamaica Labour Party. They did not. Because if they did, then the JLP debaters should have pointed it out. And I'm sure they would have given them back their time.
Yeah, because I was watching it in your neighbor. I was watching it on your live, you know, because it's your live. I was taking everything. You understand me? So, me not left half of your life for the whole night. So, and I listen to it because I'm in Canada here and I am spending all my time. After 12, me go to my bed. You understand me? Because based on how Raymond, a matter of fact, if Raymond Price, to me, if Raymond Price was a good speaker of everything, I don't think St. Elizabeth had put him in one basket or one pan and roll him to St. Catherine. So you understand me? Because we don't stand to full English. You understand me? Raymond Price come to St. Elizabeth and he never make nothing done to St. Elizabeth people that they have to just fling him from up down there. You understand me? So based on Raymond Price, you can see the boasting and the bragging and stuff in. Those are not debating. You understand me? He come there for a show. He must come there for a show last night. You understand me? So, and then when we look and see, a lot of people in Canada right here looking and see the quality of the JLP party. Because a lot of people call me in Canada here this morning and say, my God, look where they want to come run Jamaica.
I will tell you
Yes,
this.
sir.
I will tell you this, sir, and I've been avoiding saying it, but it keep coming to me. That team of PNP debaters should have been dismissed in the first couple of rounds.
Yeah, tell you that. I'm telling you that.
They should have been summarily dismissed in the first couple of rounds, sir. The Labour Party is just too strong a performing government to be matching up with that team there last night.
Right.
That team should have been put away by round 2, and the results of the debate should have not been in any question today.
But the one thing with the JLP party,
Neighbor.
the problem is the JLP party too. We don't like to disrespect.
Did you know, sir?
Neighbor,
that
can I say something, neighbor?
That I heard Mr. Crawford saying that the Labour Party a thief tax dollars. You mean you allow Mr. Crawford to get away with that? Oh, come on.
And that again, you understand me? And he can't come up with that one concept about tax.
Let me tell you
and
something.
then again,
Hold on. Let me tell you something. Mr. Crawford was on stage last night saying that $20 billion, I think he said 24 or 22,
22 billion
have been spent at
$22 billion we have from 22
sir,
billion.
You know, sir, Mr. Crawford should not have gotten away with that.
Because
Mr.
they
Crawford,
need to give him a lawsuit, and that he should have get a lawsuit for becoming a tell lie
no,
and
lawsuit not did this. Because that figure has been banded
But
around.
he tell lie on the country.
Yes,
He
sir,
tell lie on the country.
but you cannot blame him because you had 3 persons there to defend it. You can't blame him. Okay? Debating is about getting across what you want to get across. And maybe Mr. Crawford wanted to get across into the minds of Jamaicans that 24 billion has been spent at Corner Regional. How much money was spent? How much money was spent there? You want to tell me that 3 cabinet ministers don't know?
It's 9 million. The
No.
government come out and say 9 million.
You are telling me 9? So the 3 cabinet ministers didn't hear that? Listen to me.
It's 9 million.
Hold on, no man.
Yes, sir. Okay, neighbor. Okay.
When a moderator asks you a question or a questioner asks you a question, they can ask what they want. You have 90 seconds. You have 90 seconds. Your opponent told a lie. I am going to use my first 45 seconds to rebut it. That's very, very important because it must not be allowed to go because you are giving out information. Remember, this information is business, you know, sir. People's minds are now being made up. And so when you say that, if I have to use 50 seconds or 100, I am going to deal with it. Now, the questioner can always say, you didn't answer the question or I want to follow up. That's going to give me some more time. I am dealing with the inaccurate information that my opponent said before I start answering this question. If I don't get to the question, well, that's it. The questioner can't tell you how to handle the 90 seconds, you know, sir. You must handle your 90 seconds and say what you want to say. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand that, neighbor. I understand.
When you say they never answer the question, that is a skill of a good debater. Not to necessarily respond to a question, but to use the time. And you know something, sir? Can I tell you? When you are debating and you make your time run out, it means that you are nervous. You're not in.
You see, because neighbor, because you see, because no, neighbor, it's not say really they was nervous and something, but sometimes when people tell a lie and when you're butting and stuff, sometimes you know the truth and the facts, you know, neighbor. And sometimes some people tell a dreadful lie on you. You have a lot, they talk a lot of
You can't run out of time. No, you mustn't run out of time.
Yeah, but neighbor, I hope things they will start too.
All right, nail your answers down in the time given. But if the moderator have to constantly be cutting you off, it's a distraction. It don't look elegant. You understand me, sir? Have to go. Have to go, sir.
But still, for all, me not see where none of them couldn't be the JLP party last night. I understand that. I don't see where Damon Crawford could have come over Matthew Samuda
Let me say something to you before you go, sir. Let me say something before you go. And this is why I've said that the story of Jamaica is not being told properly. And it wasn't told by those three debaters last night either, you know. Health in Jamaica, sir. The health services in Jamaica are in the best state they have been since Jamaica existed.
That's true. That's true.
Hear me tell you something,
That's
sir.
True.
And for the PNP to have stood up there last night and gotten away with that, to be suggesting that for some reason people are waiting now in hospitals. PNP, you want me debate, you know, to be suggesting that people are waiting.
That's a big lie.
To suggest that people are now waiting in hospitals, sir, and that clinics, really? Was there a time when we never had to wait? Come on.
Yeah, that's a.
Anyway,
yeah, but I remember in 2001, 2002, when we have to leave my house and to go to Montego with my father-in-law. I mean, to come out of my bed.
You know, so some things cannot be spoken on this program.
Yes, sir.
Of people having to share beds, 2, 3 to a bed, maternity women. Okay? Yeah, PNP, be quiet. You know, sir, they should be quiet. So on some of these matters, they should be quiet. But you see,
that's true.
You need someone to remind them. We need someone to remind them of what. When I hear Raymond. Anyway, sir, have a great evening. You hear?
Okay, Neighbour. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I'm still listening to you and everything.
Peace be with you, my brother. My friend from Saint James. My friend from St. James. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about what's happening over there in Westmoreland this evening. The debaters, you see, have to be a little bit more assertive. They have to be a little bit more assertive. They're making the PNP get away with too much. PNP no have no credibility if it do not debate in Jamaica. PNP no have no credibility if it do no debate. Then it should not be debating. Anyway, Scratchy.
Yes, neighbor. Blessed evening.
Good afternoon, sir. You're in Sam Sharp Square?
Definitely not, neighbor.
How are things there?
I'm not. I said definitely not. I'm not down there, sir.
I know. But your ears are at the ground. You know.
Yes, definitely, most definitely.
You have your links. Tell me what you're hearing.
I mean, labor rights are rolling out, neighbor. There's already a bunch of labor rights already down there in Shamsharp Square. Labor rights are still on the highways and the byways heading towards Shamsharp Square. Very, very vigilant, very, very happy and very motivated. They're down there, neighbor. They're heading down.
Fantastic. You are an insider, Scratchy. You know what is happening in the Labour Party. How is the hierarchy of the party responding to last night's debate by Kamina, Pernell, and Matthew? How are they responding?
I mean, I haven't heard anything yet. The debate was last night. I personally haven't heard anything yet. But based on what I see, I would expect that some members of the hierarchy would be disappointed in some point.
You talk to the Prime Minister from time to time, Scratchy. You didn't call him last night?
No, the Prime Minister is very busy right now, neighbor. I definitely won't pick up my call in this time.
I see. All right.
But definitely, neighbor, I would expect that some members of the hierarchy would be a bit disappointed, neighbor. They might have expected more. I mean, neighbor, it's a social debate, neighbor. Social debate is basically like general knowledge, neighbor.
Yes.
Any one of us neighbor can come and talk about social issues. And and if in a social debate neighbor, the governing side tend to come off a bit slower, a bit. I mean, it can be stage fright or other things, but I expect the government side to be much more sharper.
I want to provide context for the listeners. This country is experiencing a revolution on the social side, Scratchy.
Exactly. So that's why I say it's general knowledge.
A remarkable revolution. Listen to me, Scratchy. In a social debate, there is no question on crime. You know why? This government, Scratchy, goes into a social debate having cut poverty in half. This government goes into a social debate with unemployment the lowest in our history.
Exactly, neighbor. It's all
This
right.
government goes into a social debate having on program to implement a school bus service for the first time in Jamaica. And you have a man over on the other side saying, "I'm going to buy Coaster bus." Coaster bus is Scratchy. There is no country in the world that uses coaster buses for a school bus service.
Our neighbor, even with the coastal bus question, I think that in the sense of the coastal bus question, I believe that the Jamaica Labour Party debaters also kind of dropped the ball on that question, neighbor. In a question like that, neighbor, you don't want to push affordability, you try to push safety, neighbor. You're going to talk about the safety features that these buses come with. I would have highlighted those safety features that these buses come with, neighbor. I wouldn't try to worry about the price or go price argument with them. No. I would tell them about the safety that these buses come with compared to a coastal bus. So I think the Jamaica Labour Party, neighbor, they dropped the ball. I said it last night, neighbor. I said that Floyd Green in a debate like this, neighbor, Floyd Green would have done much a better job for us, neighbor. And look at Matthew Samuda, neighbor. Matthew Samuda showed us last night that when he goes to cabinet meeting, neighbor, he's paying attention and he's listening, neighbor. Every single social program that Jamaica is benefiting from has to go to cabinet. So every cabinet minister, neighbor, should be in a position to can talk about our social programs, whether you're the minister of social security or not. And it's a disgrace, neighbor.
When the government took office, the debt to GDP was almost 140%. You know what it is today? We don't lose a social debate. Jamaica is going through a social revolution led by Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Never before, Scratchy.
Never before, neighbor.
250,000 jobs. The debate is done. You hear me, sir?
Never before, neighbor. Never before.
More than 300 social houses. The debate is done. Students wanting to access mortgages or loans from the Student Loan Bureau don't have to pay, don't have to get no guarantor. The debate done. You hear me tell you something, sir? Health, Scratchy, the largest improvement in public sector workers in the history of Jamaica. Remind the people that there was a time when the people had to be in a wage freeze, Scratchy.
Exactly. And even on health, neighbor, they dropped the ball on health again, neighbor.
Where is the debate?
We have so much health projects going on, neighbor, and I saw some nervousness on the part of the person who was answering that question. The person couldn't even adequately call certain sections of the island by name as a cabinet minister, neighbor. I think I could have done that, neighbor. I could have pointed, I could have put figures to these things, neighbor. I wasn't going to call anywhere without without establishing any figures. I would have made it clear that Portmore, $637 million. Ray, $540 million. I would have definitely put figures to those things to send a stronger message, neighbor, out there. It's a debate. Just to make sure that you're concrete and you're factual.
And I must come away from that debate telling Jamaicans that crime is down in Jamaica by over 40%. That is going to have to come out somewhere along the line, sir. No matter, you ask me about housing, as Jamaica say, Jamaica girls say, me I tell you about crime.
Exactly.
I tell you about the crime. You understand what I'm saying? So there is need for some, I hope that Shanil, are you there? Good afternoon to you. Shanil?
Neighbor.
Good afternoon.
Neighbor.
Yes?
It's Philippian.
Hi. Hi. How are you?
Yes. Neighbor, what is this proposal I'm seeing in the PMP manifesto about considering to change the gender?
The gender? What gender?
Yeah, the PMP want to change from 2 genders.
Really?
The 2 genders that PMP want to change. Yes.
You could read that section for us, please? Can you read it?
No, uno go look it up. Uno go look it up.
All right. Uno?
Uno go look it up. Go and look it up, neighbor. It's in the manifesto. Go and look at it.
That the PNP.
Also, neighbor, I want to say this. I want to say this, neighbor.
Yes. Say it.
Neighbor.
Yes.
I want to say this. You can't hear me?
Loud and clear. That is interesting.
Okay.
Sorry.
I notice people are carrying up. Some people are bringing up some emotional topics about people being overseas and people buying plane tickets for them to come home. But that is not going to help us. That is not an issue that I would want to vote for, but because that would not impact me. We should vote on real issues such as crime,
the PNP is
poverty, you know. They're bringing up Bob Mark people, student paying fare for come to Jamaica, which he did ask back for his money. And I am saying that is not an issue that would help us as a country. We need to not vote based on emotion, and Mark is trying to evoke emotions in people. We should vote on real issues such as crime being down now.
Yes.
Health, we're building out the health sector.
Yes.
Right? Poverty has gone down.
Jobs.
Unemployment is down. These are real issues that we should vote on. We should not vote on, because Mark is not a white savior. He is no savior. Right? And the Prime Minister did give money as well.
Did he get back his money?
But those are not issues. That is not an issue I would vote on.
Did he get back his money?
No, before money even reached Neighbour, the government had stepped in before it reached Neighbour. So that money was reimbursed back to before the Mark Golding money even reached the students. The government had stepped in and did what they had to do. So Mark Golding money was a waste of time. It was all a PR stunt from Mark Golding. We're back for you back in them face.
Well, then,
so the Ukraine-Russian war, Neighbour, when the Ukraine-Russian war and the students were stuck in Ukraine. Yes, I believe he had put up 10,000 from his personal funds, but Kamina Johnson Smith and the government had stepped in before he could have dispersed that cash, I believe. Or if it was dispersed, he said that he was going to share it towards the kids them differently, I believe. That was what he said. But the government is the one who paid for the students to return, not Mark Golding.
Yes, okay, you have that. All right, Shanil?
Yes, neighbor.
I want a little bit more information on the gender thing, ma'am. Tell me, give me a little bit more on that. Well, I that is very interesting.
And what?
The gender, ma'am. You said that the PNP is
Hold on, I'm breaking up here. Hold on.
You're breaking up. You better not break. God bless, Nally. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Blessed, sir.
Hi, how are you, sir?
I'm here hanging on.
What's the breaking news today?
The breaking news is that debate last night, it was a debate where the type of question we asked, it wasn't a question for all funeral home and all those things, and the timing. We answer some of the question. A year you've been talking and I've been listening. But if you realize when they go into certain topic, the debater say, the moderator say, time hen. You can't take 45 seconds to name the amount of things that this government doing in the country. You cannot. And the main part of it is when you, like I said now, say that, you and Scratchy say that them should move from herring to sprat. You can't do that when a debater asks you a question, you have to answer the question that they ask. You can't go to a sprat, follow the other person. That's why the person who analyze this debate, some of them do not analyze the debate and the question that was asked. So I mean now, I ask a question.
You can't move from herring to sprat.
All them no ask, them don't mention nothing about crime, and you want a debater now to go half key now to go answer to crime.
No,
Right, you can't move from herring to sprat. No, because they ask you about dead house, parlor. Look on them, where them there go.
God
them
bless. Breaking news, God bless. What we are saying is God bless is we're not saying about the question, deviate from a question. Like the part where them said that 22 billion.
You tap me some
listen up. The part where them said 22 billion spent on Cornwall Regional. If you know how to answer a question, God bless. You never tell me, say you never carry that part first before you go into your question.
I hear you Scratchy, I hear I've been listening to you. And you come on and listen to your Scratchy, and that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I think it's a good point that you should have cleared that and say, yo, no, $22 billion didn't spend on Cornwall Region. In
but at the end of the day, don't you see Camilla Johnson try to correct it and the debater ball don't panic him after the talking night while the debater ball, no debater.
I tell you.
So that will take up on the platform, but you have the time where you get, you have to bring enough views across. You can't bring one. The question that asks is a question that you should answer. If you know, I can answer and through them rebut. Answer something. You can say don't spend when you don't want to say 10 something and that will talk of something where you can go and sit in a meet now after and say, yeah, what happened? Them say we spend this in the debate is a fact, lie. But what happened? What the debater will come out with? You didn't answer their question. That can't answer the question that they asked. You can't let Prince Erin and that sprat. You have to stay with the Erin that they give you. So the person who asking the question and the time is too short, brother. The time there, you not see relevant. So that's why I say
God bless. God bless. When a lie is still in front of 3 million people, you better try clear it up in front of 3 million people. Don't go try clear it up in front of 100,000 people.
And a thing like crime. You hear them mention nothing about crime?
And that is good. And that is good.
Huh?
And that is good. The mere fact that we have a social
so when me listen, Matthew Samuda, they touch. Right, so what them do? They ask about environment. Samuda stand up like a lion. Because what? He know the environment and that was the question we asked. So why you did say, Matthew Samuda, for the environment question we asked and gone to crime, the crime I can ask. Well, I'm scratching. The crime I can ask to the Prime Minister, the crime I can ask to the bigger exam tonight. It was an environment thing they made upon last night. It wasn't a crime thing. They don't mention it. They don't ask nobody about it. It's just the other side. Divert from the question and a social thing.
A social thing, God bless.
Yeah, but
a social thing about where you find God bless. A social thing.
The social them are come Tuesday. The bigger social them are come Tuesday and Saturday. So this person, the question we ask.
Who in the debate, God bless? Who in the debate? Who in the debate?
I give it to Matthew Samuda and the Jamaica Labour Party. Matthew Samuda because he's the only person here and question them what asks. And the closing debate, where them close off, I give to Pernell Charles Jr. because I put everything. And that you must listen. What Pernell Jr. close with to what Raymond Price close with. Listen then to there, you will know if you make the difference. Because those are the central part of it. Because what? Them can't ask you about Erin and your gas.
Yes, sir. Let me ask you a question, sir. You can get some sprat for me?
Well, then switch it like last night and make it all of them gone back in IC, you know.
Okay. You have to go get some herring.
You might can get some herring because right now might be herring them they are sure about that now, so they're easier to catch.
But you can't left from hearing to scrap. That is
No, you can't, because if me, as me say, no, me is a man that believe in a question and answer. So
Yes.
he can't go back, so because we have it to deal with on TikTok when we go live. I like our Philippian, when we go live and a person come up and say, Hanjo, Addis. Me not call him any name because I know him and none. So me now, then say Hanjo Addis. So we say, where the proof there? Then me know you one man down the road, see so. Me can't work with them there, brother. Them they're not relevant to me.
Exactly.
I will come with the facts. Let me know, say you say, all right, you see it in the website, you see it on JIS, and you see it in an Integrity Commissioner hack. But nothing. Where the man
God bless. God bless. You know, go down, sir.
Commissioner.
You know, go down, sir. God bless.
Yeah. All right.
No, me the person work, yeah. No, I work.
Okay.
Big up yourself, my brother. You must come back.
Breaking news.
No, me I
Breaking
tell you,
news.
say that debate, the question them where we did a look for. Me don't hear none of them. Last night question them.
Touchy of
Funeral home
breaking
question them. They don't go long back.
Touchy of breaking news.
Thank
No,
you.
man, I didn't breaking news, man.
What
God
is
bless
it
all the
from?
breaking news, then. God bless all the breaking news, them, not me.
I'm not a name breaking news.
No, me name, son. Can I get that after me?
Tari, good afternoon, Tari.
And the real breaking news, this man. God bless.
Good afternoon, neighbor. Good
Good afternoon.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, neighbor.
Tari, you are no slum to debates. And I see where you are suggesting on other space that you have some insights into this debate. Do you want to help us with the debate, Tari? As a young bright, we're prepared to listen to you. Tell us about the debate.
Yeah, man, no problem. No problem.
Lift your voice.
neighbor.
Sound
Oh,
excited.
okay. Yeah, man, no problem. No problem at all, neighbor. I must say that I didn't get to watch the debate in the regular time frame that it was because I came home late last night. And I watched it because I came home after 11.
Congratulations. I have heard of your recent success, and you buy me a drink, yes? I help to boss you.
All right, neighbor. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Great.
Right. But I came home after 11 last night because I was at a church social, neighbor.
Yes.
And I must tell you that was very fun. And after I came home, I decided to watch the debate. Finished watching it after 1 in the morning, neighbor. My initial, I would say my initial insight would have been that I gave the edge to the Jamaica Labour Party on the basis of substance, really.
The edge. You said the edge.
Yeah. Edge. Yes, I say
So
edge.
they didn't win. They didn't win overwhelmingly. It's the
Right.
edge. Tell us why.
Right. And I say that because after I look back at the debate again today, I realized that there were various gaps and various aspects which I would say both parties would have failed at, in my general opinion. As a matter of fact, I created a rubric, neighbor.
Yes.
Because I didn't want to just say that they won and didn't really have anything to back it. So I created a rubric based on 5 different areas.
Yes, sir.
So area number 1 was based on content and substance. This area number 2 spoke to the rebuttal and the argumentation. Area number 3 spoke to delivery and clarity. Area number 4 spoke to team dynamics and role execution, or the execution of the roles and the team. And area number 5 spoke to engagement and appeal. Right? So that was the rubric I created, and generally scoring on each rubric from 1 to 5. Now let's start with content and substance. Let's start there. I gave the Jamaica Labour Party the edge. Well, not the edge, but for that area, I gave the Jamaica Labour Party 4, and I gave the People's National Party 2. I gave the Jamaica Labour for content and substance.
Huh?
No, I gave the Jamaica Labour Party 4, Mainly because when I was listening to the debates, I saw where there was a lot of reinforcement as it related to policy, as it related to their achievements, what are they doing, and as well as what they would have, what they intend to do. My apologies. What they intend to do, going forward into the next term or the next Jamaica Labour Party administration. So I generally saw more substance and more content from them, and it was more, I would say, policy heavy, so to speak. For the People's National Party, I gave them 2 on the basis of the fact that their content, in my opinion, seemed more generalized, really. And generalized because in as much as it was 1 minute and 30 seconds or for the entire response or just 45 seconds for the rebuttal, I know that persons are saying that isn't necessarily a long period of time or a great amount of time to respond to such a question. However, the mere fact that Matthew Samuda was able to at least, I would say, attack the argument being posited by the People's National Party as well as present the substance of the Jamaica Labour Party, then I would say that that is clearly enough time to respond to the question, right? So for me, their content just seemed more generalized. I didn't really see much specifics, really, to be honest, in my opinion. Now, for rebuttal and argumentation, for this aspect, I gave the Jamaica Labour Party for their rebuttal and argumentation 4. Now, in this case, especially Matthew Samuda, you would have witnessed last night and realized last night that Matthew, I believe in one of the aspects where Sophia Fraser-Binns was commenting on beach access. She said that she said there was something called the Beach Access Act, but there's nothing called the Beach Access Act. And Matthew has a reminder that it's not the Beach Access Act, it is the Beach Control Act, right? And I would say that he effectively did rebut what the PNP would have presented, as well as essentially highlighted various errors within their administration, pretty much. Now, however, the JLP did fall in that regard, because I will say that I could have seen more rebuts from the Jamaica Labour Party, not just from Matthew, but also from the other 2. But I will explain that more in terms of team dynamics and role execution.
Before you go, Tari, just hold on a little bit. Let me hear something from Norma. We come back to you. Norma.
Hi, neighbor. Good evening.
Well, it's afternoon.
I just want to say, in spite of how emotional, good afternoon. In spite of how emotional us as JLP felt, the truth is the truth, is that simply a basic school or a primary school, I have seen how Tari carried himself, and I agree with Scratchy, for persons who are in parliament, when they spoke about health, and even when they asked the questions in a rebuttal, the only thing that you should say, you spoke about health. Look at what we have done in the health sector with the clinics, we have doctors and nurses going there. Persons don't have to pack up at the hospitals. Yes. Look at what we have with NHF, Nigol, and all of that. There's so much they could have talked about the 3 ministers. And I think that Kamina, she was very slow. She used too much wordings.
I can't hear what you're saying.
I tell you, it's a star performance, you know. Norma, are you going to be here with us, or are you going to be elsewhere? You have to decide, no? She's going through the hill.
Sir?
Do you
I have daughters, sir. And only the youngest, who have just left Michael, is not married.
Her name is Kay. I don't. No,
Yeah.
her name is Kay.
Oh,
Her name is
it's two
Kay.
of them that is not married. But I mean, they are not.
Do you have one of them with you, ma'am?
But to be honest, to be honest, no, neighbor. Presently, I lost my husband in November, so I
Oh.
only have my granddaughter with me and my grandson who will, chauffeur me around. But the children, they are out there. They are professional.
I see someone in the chat saying that's my mother talking.
So I have two sons. I have 4 daughters, and I lost one along the way. So you know that my age is not an almanac. Way up, I'm way up in my 50s. But as I was saying that it could have been if they had done what they could do. They didn't have to get any questions, because I agree with Scratchy from last night. I was so mad and angry. There was so much to talk about. Health. There was so many achievements to talk about, to push back in their faces. And if they had done that, then nobody now would be talking about who won the debate and whatever. We wouldn't be looking at that. So to be honest, I would have given the team a 7. I would have given them a 7, because they did no justice to what we are receiving now in this present time in the country.
Norma is traveling, and I think she's in Hanover.
Justice to that.
Norma, we're not hearing you at all, ma'am. You realize that we're not hearing you? You realize that, ma'am?
No justice to that. If you
that's all we're hearing you
see
saying,
someone,
justice, ma'am. All we're hearing from you is that
not
no
working,
justice. Nothing else
they
we're
are
not
the
hearing.
ones who do not
Okay. Well, this is not working out.
want
No
to work.
justice. That's all.
I am not working there.
Oh, your phone is. No,
I
ma'am,
am
is
in
your phone not
Western
working?
Hanover.
Your internet not working?
I am in Western.
Bring here. Okay. You have to go join us back, ma'am. You have to go join her. And she was making a good point, Let her leave her on the line. Let us see if we can sort out her connection and get back to him. We need to get back to Tari so that Tari can complete his thoughts. But
I have.
what you have? You have bad internet. That's what you have. Okay. No, ma'am. You have to sort out your internet and come back. You have to sort that out. Wow. Yes. Okay. We're getting back to Tari. Tari, you stay right where you are. You hear, son?
Yes, neighbor.
Yeah, will you stay right where you are? Let us see if we can pick up two others. Some people are waiting for a long time. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. I just joined the program, but I had to join based on what Norma was saying. I don't think Norma understands the difference between the question that is being asked than talking about your achievements or what have been done. The question didn't ask about what have you done. The question was asked based on the long lines and the wait at the hospital. What are you going to do? So you have to talk about what you're going to do, not what you have done, right? Yes, you would have done some things, but there are the things about it is the difference is that it's what's happening now and what you're going to do about it. The truth and in fact is that I will admit to her, and I said this on another platform last night, for the PMP, the person who I carried for the PMP to manage the debate on the PMP side was Damian Crawford, but that was a disappointment. On the JLP, I carry Pernell Charles Jr. because we're talking about social issues and that is his ministry. So I'm expecting him to dominate, but I guess time was not his friend because he speaks so slowly and didn't utilize the time. So he failed in that category. Thankfully, he make it up in his closing remarks, right? If I was supposed to rate the conversation or the debate, I would have give PNP a 3. 3 because of Miss Fraser Baines. She was the only one who seems like she was paying attention to what was going on. Not saying that she answered things correctly, but she was more focused and less casting shades at the other persons, right? I wouldn't say anything about Raymond Price because Raymond Price is just Raymond Price. We know that he's going to come in the debate and talk about...
Let me ask you a question, sir.
Yes.
You live in Jamaica?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever experienced a time in Jamaica when we never had lines at the hospital? Waiting time?
Never, sir. Never.
Is there any country in the world that you don't go to hospital?
None at all. But that is the problem that we're having in the neighbor. The question that has been asked, the truth and in fact, as I said, the government...
Ask me that question, sir. Let me try and answer it. In
your neighbor, how would you fix the long lines and the long waits at the hospital?
You know what, sir? I'm not going to do PR for them.
Neighbor, whatever response you're going to make to a question like that, neighbor, you have to talk about what you have done. You've been in government for 9 years.
Yes,
you have to talk about what you have done.
No, but Scratchy, the problem that we're saying is that, hear the question. Yes, you would have done something, but the fact is that the question is asked based on what is happening now. Yes, we know that the Ministry of Health fix up hospitals, clinics, and the NHF and the mere fact that people can get prescription free. We know that the government do that, but the reality of it is that long lines are there now. They are asking a question. I think that the government side, both sides could have done justice to say, okay, we are going to do.
And I don't think it was about long lines and bed space. It was mostly about bed spaces.
Yeah, but any idiot in Jamaica know that the real reason why bed spaces is a problem in the hospitals is because more people are getting sick. And
so why the idiot ask a question like that?
No, because anybody asking that question always make it look like, say, no hospital is in bed. But the truth and in fact is that when you have a hospital and the hospital only capacity is only for 2,000.
But remember, Craig, this is a political debate. My opponent is right beside me. 3 million persons are tuning watching me. I have to make it clear what I have done. I am seeking an unprecedented third term. Yes, despite whatever the debate question is, I have to deviate and come back in a certain way. I have to be strategic. I am also campaigning.
Nothing is wrong with you deviating, and talk about what you have done, but you have to answer the question also, because the debate is about the question that has been asked, not what you have done. So remember, let me give you one.
I'm not saying I'm not going to talk about what I'm going to do, but I can't answer a question like that without talking about what I have done. I can't answer a question like that, Greg, without talking about what I have done.
But Scratchy, I am saying to you, listen, nothing is wrong with talking about what you have done, but the key point of the debate is for you to answer the question. Let me give you an example. When they ask about internet in internet for schools and community, bear in mind the government side would have talked about all the community internet that they have given to communities and school, but they would have drawn back to go back to say that we are going further in the next administration to do this. You understand? So yes, so the both things were said, right? But when I hear the disingenuousness of Emily, you disappoint me. How can you say the PNP won the debate when the PNP don't give you a constructive answer at any question that was asked? All PNP came there to do is criticize and show shades. They did not answer any questions.
Exactly.
They did not leave the debate convince anybody that they have plans. They are well thinking. when the fact that you're going to say, Damian Crawford, that when you're going forward, you are going to do away with the bus system. Simply mean you're telling Jamaica that you're going to do away and
I just come up here, Craig.
Yes.
Craig,
Here
I
it is.
agree with Scratchy that you have to speak about what you did before, because remember the reason why they have built out so many clinics and renovated it is to take off the pressure off the hospitals, right? And the reason why you have the healthcare aides, hold on. The reason why you have the healthcare aides going into communities now to check on the elderly and such is to help them to keep up with their appointments, because they are not going to their regular checkups. And when the illness becomes severe now, they run and flood the hospitals. So I definitely believe that you have to talk about what you've done.
You see,
you have to talk about the know your numbers and all of that.
You just